So the other day I received a DM on Instagram from someone who had recently had surgery, and they had a question of how to either maintain or lose some weight while recovering from surgery when they're not allowed to work out or be really physically active during that time. So in today's video, I'm gonna give my tips of how to either maintain or lose weight while you're recovering from surgery. So as most of you may already know or not know, I recently had surgery to remove my gynecomastia, and during that surgery process, you have a long time of recovery where you're not allowed to really do anything physical in terms of lifting weights or even just things around the house that might be heavy. You can't really do anything active in terms of cardio, and you're basically left trying to figure out, how do I not gain weight or at least stay where I'm at during this whole healing process in the 3 to 4 months that I basically can't be really physically active? So my first tip on how to maintain weight during surgery recovery is intermittent fasting or having an eating window. Now, when it comes to intermittent fasting, I'm not one of those that promotes it as this thing that kind of is the end all be all, like your human growth hormone will see exponential growth and you'll see all this muscle mass that you didn't see before. Like, it's just an eating window. The reason I like intermittent fasting is that every time I've ever done it, it helps me moderate how much food I'm eating in a day. Now, you can eat more than you should in that eating window or that time span and still blow your numbers out of proportion. But I found that if I restrict myself to, let's say, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., it's a lot harder to get all those calories in, and it just helps me in the back of my mind be conscious of eating outside of that window. Because let's say it's now 9 or 10 at night and I'm hungry and I want a snack. Having kind of that parameter or that baseline of saying like, no, I already finished at 8 p.m. helps me easily say no to things that might put me out of my, I guess, calorie window for the day, my maintenance or cut window that I'm looking at if I'm looking at maintaining or losing weight. So when it comes to surgery and your recovery, having an eating window can definitely help, because I know, especially when I first was in that recovery process of the gynecomastia surgery, I was basically sitting around on the couch all day doing nothing. I couldn't even really go on like walks or anything like that. It was pretty much watching Netflix all day. And that's a good recipe for just snacking all day, because usually I'm one of those, when I'm bored and watching TV, I want to snack on something. And now it's 3 to 4 months later and you've unintentionally put on 10 to 15 pounds because you really couldn't do anything to moderate it. Intermittent fasting or having an eating window helps you, like I said, to be able to, even when you're sitting on the couch recovering and you can't really do anything, you can still look at the clock, look at your phone, look at your watch and say like, it's not 12 p.m. yet, it's not noon, I probably shouldn't eat. It doesn't have to be, like I said, 12 to 8. It could literally be 8 to 5. It could be whatever you want, 9 to 6. It's just having a good 8-hour window of when you eat, and then having that rest of the time be times where you just say no to snacks will really help in maintaining or even losing weight during the recovery process. All right, so my second tip on maintaining your weight during surgery recovery is to eat more whole foods. Eating whole foods is really beneficial, especially during the recovery process, because just like I said in the first tip, most likely you're sitting around all day, not really able to do any physical activity, and it's not like a week or two, you're basically gonna not be able to do physical activity for quite a few months. Eating whole foods will help you in maintaining that caloric maintenance, or if you're in a cut, that will help you feel fuller and more satisfied throughout the day. One thing that can be really easy to fall into while you're recovering from surgery is kind of taking the easy route of eating a lot of ultra processed foods or going and getting fast food. It's really quick, super simple, but the only problem is most of those foods are really caloric dense without much component of actually filling you up. And that's an easy way, even if you're in an eating window, to really blow your calories way out of proportion. And like I said, unintentionally gain 10 to 20 pounds over the next 3 to 4 months just sitting around not being able to do anything. And the third tip I will give those who are looking to maintain or lose weight during surgery recovery is drink a ton of water. Water is great because, one, it's free, it has no calories, and it will definitely help fill you up in between meals. So a lot of times when you feel hungry, you're actually just dehydrated, and what would be better suited for that time is to drink water. One, water helps fill up your stomach, makes you feel fuller, especially if you're drinking a lot of water throughout the day. I think water might actually be one of the best ways to help fight overeating during your surgery recovery process. So the fourth thing to help maintain weight during surgery recovery is to go on walks. So I know this might not pertain to every single person who's had surgery, because there are surgeries that happen that deal obviously with the lower half of your body, and you might not be able to really go on a walk. But if you can, try and be as active as you can during the surgery recovery process. So like I said, I had gynecomastia surgery, which is basically the removal of fat tissue up in your chest. So I pretty much couldn't do anything with the upper body when it came to lifting, but I could go on walks. So after a few days, once the pain really subsided and I started to feel a little better, my wife and I started trying to go on 30-minute walks twice a day to help at least get me somewhat active and moving during that healing process. I was basically restricted to not lift or do any really heavy lifting at all for 6 weeks. And then once 6 weeks hit, it was still super light lifting. And then it was roughly another 6 weeks before I was actually able to really get in the gym and actually start exercising. So walks were the perfect way for me to at least get out, get off the couch, stop watching Netflix, and just help me be active. So my last tip for maintaining weight during surgery recovery is know your daily energy expenditure and track what you eat. So a great way to figure out what your daily energy expenditure is go online and Google a TDEE calculator. I'll provide a link to one down in the description. So with these calculators, you put in your information, hit submit or calculate, and it will spit out what your total daily energy expenditure should be based on a multitude of things, from your age, your weight, your body mass index, your body fat percentage, to how active you are throughout the day. And then you can also select what your calories should be based on if you are cutting, maintaining, bulking, and then if you want to do a low, moderate, or high carb diet, this calculator will help you see what that should look like. Now, this is not an end-all, be-all solution. It's just a ballpark figure to give you an idea of where you should roughly be at with your daily caloric intake. I would still recommend tracking your calories daily and tracking your weight, and then doing something such as averaging the weight over a 7-day period to see how your weight is actually fluctuating week over week, to see if you need to make any slight adjustments in how many calories you're eating per day. So those are my tips to help maintain weight during surgery recovery. I hope your recovery is going well, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, show it some love by hitting the like button. Leave a comment about your biggest struggle that you're having while recovering from surgery. And as always, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get updates on when I'm uploading my next video. Thanks for watching.